Amid Trump and Netanyahu's renewed threat, a new domestic crisis has hit Tehran as the Rial crashes to a record low and public anger explodes into the streets. Iran has seen its largest protests in 3 years after the national currency plunged to an all-time low against the dollar, according to CNN. The unrest erupted as the Rial hit around 1.42 million per US dollar, a collapse that stunned even seasoned traders. The currency's freefall forced central bank chief Mohammad Reza Farzin to resign, signaling the gravity of the financial crisis. Traders and shopkeepers rallied on Sadi Street and near Tehran's historic Grand Bazaar, CNN reported, turning commercial hubs into protest zones. Bazaar merchants, who played a historic role in the 1979 revolution, have once again moved to the forefront of street demonstrations. Witnesses told CNN that similar protests broke out in major cities including Isfahan, Shiraz, and Mashhad, spreading the unrest nationwide. In parts of Tehran, police reportedly fired tear gas to disperse angry crowds as clashes flared with security forces. The protests are being described as the biggest uprising since the 2022 Masa Amini demonstrations that shook the Islamic Republic. The Rial crash has driven up the cost of food, healthcare, and daily necessities across Iran, piling pressure on already struggling families. Official data show inflation running at about 42.2% year-on-year in December, eroding purchasing power at speed. Food prices have surged roughly 72% compared with last year, hitting low-income households hardest. Health and medical costs have jumped nearly 50% over the same period, straining middle-class budgets. The Rial is trading near 1.42 million per dollar, down from about 430,000 in 2022, marking a dramatic devaluation. Critics warn that visible signs of approaching hyperinflation are now emerging in Iran's economy. Witnesses told the Associated Press that many traders shut their shops and urged others to join a widening strike. Semi-official ILNA news reported widespread business closures in central Tehran, even though some stores remained open under pressure. Protests are said to have begun in mobile phone markets before rapidly spreading across Iran's urban centers. According to Iran International, chants initially focused on soaring prices but soon turned openly anti-government as frustration boiled over. Iran International reported that some protesters shouted that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei would be toppled this year, crossing clear red lines. On December 29, President Masoud Pezeshkian ordered his interior minister to open channels and talk directly to protesters. Pezeshkian said, and I quote, "The livelihood of the people is my daily concern. We have fundamental actions on the agenda to reform the monetary and banking system and preserve the purchasing power of the people. I have tasked the Minister of the Interior to hear the legitimate demands of the protesters through dialogue with their representatives, so that the government can act with all its might to resolve problems and respond responsibly." Unquote. Notably, Iran's economy has been hammered by sanctions reimposed through the United Nations snapback mechanism and broader Western pressure. The 2015 nuclear deal unraveled after the United States withdrew under Donald Trump, triggering renewed economic isolation for Tehran. Fears of renewed conflict with Israel and potential US involvement are now adding another layer of anxiety to markets and society. As pressures mount on the streets and in the banking system, Iran's currency crisis is rapidly turning into a full-blown political test for the leadership.